Good evening, friends. Welcome back to the second lecture of geography. Today, we are going to see about latitude and longitude. So, friends, before moving towards the chapter, yesterday I had given you a question regarding why do we see the same side of the moon from the Earth. So, most of you have written a correct answer. Okay, it's a very simple and it's a very probable question in the preliminary examination, as well as it can be asked in the main examination also. So the reason is the moon revolves and rotates at the same speed. Okay, so in 27 days it is revolving around the Earth, and in 27 days it is rotating around itself. That is why we see always same side of the moon. So it is a kind of synchronous locking with the Earth. So moon has synchronously locked itself with the Earth. Okay. So this is the reason why we see the same side of the moon from Earth. Okay. So friends, these are the things yesterday we have seen about solar system. Okay. Today let us understand about latitude and longitudes. So most of you are familiar with the GPS. Most of you are familiar with the globe. Okay. So on the globe, as we know, it is a circular. So it is very difficult to mark a place on the globe. Okay. In general, if I ask you where do you stay, you can tell your address that somewhere you stay in the Andhra Pradesh. But on the larger scale, it is very difficult to find out the Andhra Pradesh or to mark the Andhra Pradesh on the circular sphere of the Earth. So that is why geographers have come with the imaginary lines which are drawn on the surface of the Earth. They are known as latitudes and longitudes. So this is a very simple concept and given much simpler manner in the 6th standard NCERT. These chapters that we are going to see, they are going to come again and again and again in each and every class. So we will see the next level of this chapter in each and every class as we proceed further. So let us understand what is latitude and longitude, which is given in the 6th standard NCERT. Okay. So friends, pay attention to your screen. Okay. So when we are saying about latitude and longitude with reference to the Earth, okay, so Earth has an axis. It is slightly tilted on its own axis by 23.5 degrees. Okay, so this imaginary axis that around which it spins, it makes various difference in terms of the seasons, the way wind flows, the amount of heat that Earth gets. It is because of the particular tilt of the Earth's axis. Okay. So the first imaginary line that we have drawn on the Earth for our convenience is an equator. So what is an equator? So equator is the biggest horizontal line, or it's a biggest circle drawn on the surface of the Earth. It is at the center of the Earth. Okay. So this equator here you can see on the screen. Okay. So this equator is dividing Earth into two parts. Northern hemisphere over here and southern hemisphere over here. Okay. So northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere is because of this imaginary line called as equator. Okay. So as we are moving towards the latitudes, the first part of this chapter. So what are the latitudes? Latitudes are nothing but imaginary horizontal line on the surface of the Earth. Okay. So pardon me because it's little bit difficult to draw on the screen. So the globe will not look like a globe. Okay. So here you can see that these are the parallel lines. Okay. Okay. So these are the parallel lines. We are calling them as a latitude. Okay. So this latitude, since the biggest latitude that we have seen is an equator, so the scientists have taken it as a reference latitude. From equator, other latitudes are measured in terms of their angle. So at the equator, if you put the compass, you can measure the angle from the line of the equator. So respectively, from the line of the equator, they have, for example, 15 degrees angle they have taken. So that is 15 degrees latitude. From the line of the equator, you take 30 degrees angle, that is a 30 degrees latitude. Okay. The distance between northern pole and equator, southern pole and equator is 1/4 of the size of the total the sphere or circumference of the earth. It's 360 degrees and 1/4 of that is 90 degrees. Okay, so that is why the distance at the 90 degrees from the equator, poles are marked in the northern and southern hemisphere. Okay, so from the 90 degrees from the equator to the northern hemisphere, you have a northern pole. 90 degrees from the equator to the southern hemisphere, you have a south pole. Okay, now these lines of the latitude, okay, these are the horizontal lines. Okay, so you can see over here. So these lines are all horizontal lines. Okay, these are all horizontal lines you can see over here. Okay, so in this diagram on your screen, you can see that the distance between these lines are always kept. These lines of the latitude, they don't touch each other. Okay. Also on the screen, you can see that as you are moving upwards toward north, the lines are getting shorter and shorter. So latitudes are becoming shorter and shorter circle. Okay. So as you are moving from equator towards pole, the lines of the latitudes, they become shorter and shorter circle. But one interesting fact over here is that all these circles have same center. So that is why all the latitudes are known as concentric circles. Okay, so they have same circle, they don't touch each other. The distance between them, okay, is always constant. Okay, they are complete circle. They are complete circle. You can see lines of the latitudes are complete circle. So these are the properties of the latitude. So we have seen that these latitudes, the biggest latitude among them is a 0 degrees latitude or equator. So about 0 degrees you have a 90 till 90 degrees you have latitude, and below 0 degrees till south you have 90 degrees latitude. So total number of latitudes, they are also known as parallels because they all are parallel to each other. They are 180. So 90 in the northern hemisphere, 90 in the southern hemisphere. So they are 180. Okay. So there are some important parallels or important latitudes. So some latitudes are more important than other latitudes. Why these latitudes are more important? Because they play a very important role in deciding the seasons on the earth, or heat budget of the earth, or amount of heat falling on the earth. Okay, so there are certain latitudes over which sun will come at least once overhead. Means in a year, sun will be at least overhead once on these latitudes. Okay, so if you see, the first important latitude that we have seen was equator. Second important latitude is Tropic of Cancer. Okay, this Tropic of Cancer lies to the 23.5 degrees in the northern hemisphere. Another important latitude is Tropic of Capricorn. This Tropic of Capricorn lies 23.5 in the southern hemisphere. Now why 23.5 only? Why not more than that? Because Earth's own axis is tilted at 23.5. This we have seen. Also, sun reaches overhead on the latitude up till only 23.5. Beyond 23.5, sun is never overhead on these latitudes. So if you see 23.5 northern latitude, 23.5 southern latitude, sun will not travel beyond 23.5 northern and southern latitude. Okay, at least once in a year it will be overhead on the latitude between 23.5 northern and 23.5 southern hemisphere. That is why this zone is known as torrid region, because it will get huge amount of sunlight and sun is directly overhead on this latitude, so they will get direct sunlight. So the angle between sunlight and the surface of the earth will be higher. Getting it? It won't be tilted or slanted. Okay, sunlight will directly reach on the surface of the earth. So maximum sunlight will occupy the minimum areas. So this region will get huge amount of sunlight. So the region between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn is known as torrid region or tropical region. Okay. Next important latitude is Arctic Circle. Now, why Arctic Circle is important? Arctic Circle represents 66.5 degrees of latitude, and its mirror image in the southern hemisphere is Antarctic Circle, which is 66.5 southern hemisphere. Okay, in the southern hemisphere. So why they are important? So we have seen that up till 23.5 degrees, sun is always at least once in a overhead in a year. Getting it? So beyond 23.5, sun will not travel, but sun rays will reach up till 66.5 degrees in some manner, some amount. Though sun is not traveling beyond 23.5, but sun rays will travel beyond 23.5 till 66.5. So they will get sufficient amount of sunlight till 66.5 in the northern and in the southern hemisphere. Okay, so that is why this region will have we can say a moderate amount of sunlight. So compared to torrid region, the moderate amount of sunlight will be there in this region between 23.5 to 66.5. This region is known as temperate region or subtropical region. Getting it? It is neither too hot, neither too cold. Like tropical region or torrid zone is very hot because it is getting maximum amount of sunlight. But temperate region is neither too hot, neither it is too cold. Getting it? So Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle, they represent 66.5 degrees latitude in the northern and southern hemisphere. Okay. So I hope you guys are understanding these things. Okay. So very simple things. Okay. So here you can see that the horizontal lines are known as latitudes and vertical lines are known as longitudes. So a pattern is been formed, a net-like pattern has been formed because of the intersection of these latitudes and longitude. This is known as grid. Okay, so they are making grid on the surface of the earth, these latitudes and longitudes. Okay, so just now we have seen, because of the differential amount of heat received by the different zones, different heat zones have been formed on the surface of the earth. Okay, so this angle of the sun rays are playing very important role in the formation of these different zones. So you can see over here, angle of the sun rays are at least overhead once in this torrid zone. This is a torrid zone. Getting it? Sun will travel 23.5 north and 23.5 south. So this is a torrid zone. Okay. Whereas while receiving the sunlight in the temperate region, sun rays will be little bit slanted. So they won't be direct. So the angle between the surface and the sun rays will be lesser over here. Since angle between sun rays and surface is lesser, the same amount of sunlight will be spread in the maximum area. Also, when sun rays are being slant, they will bend while traveling and they will lose their heat. So since they are bent and they are losing their heat, and the same amount of sunlight is occupying larger areas, the surface in the temperate region will get less amount of sunlight or heat compared to torrid region. Getting it? So here the sunlight will be, the angle between sunrise and surface will be lesser. Getting it? Okay. So that is why this region is known as a temperate region. Okay. So temperate region is receiving a sufficient amount of sunlight. It is neither too hot nor too cold. Beyond temperate region, we have third region, which is a very cold region, is known as the frigid zone. On frigid zone, sun will not overcome the horizon. Means sun will always be seen just little bit above the horizon. It will not rise above the horizon. It will never come overhead, or 6 months in the year it will not receive sunlight at all. So that is why this region is very, very cold region. It's like your in your fridge we have this a very cold region at the top of the fridge. So it's as cold as that. So that's why this region is known as a frigid zone. Okay. So this is a third region, third heat zone of the earth. Okay. So frigid zone where sunlight are rarely reaching. So that's why it is very, very cold. So at one end you have a frigid zone which is very, very cold. At another end you have a torrid zone which is very, very hot because it is getting maximum amount of sunlight. At the center you have temperate region which is neither too hot neither too cold. Getting it? So these are the different heat zones of the earth. They impact hugely on the climate of the earth. So there are different impact of these heat zones. As we'll proceed further to the different chapters, we will see their impact. Okay. Now we have seen the latitudes. Now let us move towards longitudes. Okay. So as we have seen, longitudes are the vertical lines on the surface of the earth. Okay. So they are not completely circle, they are semicircles. As you can see on the screen, they are all semicircles. They are not complete circles like latitudes. Okay. Since they are all semicircles, they are all of same size. They are not different size. Since they are all of same size, it is very difficult to take one longitude for the calculations of other longitudes. For example, in case of latitude, we considered 0 degree latitude as a basic latitude to measure all other latitudes. But here, all longitudes are of same size. So you cannot choose one longitude. So what geographers did? They choose one longitude from some place, and that place was supposed to be the Royal Observatory of Britain. Okay. So in London, they have Royal Observatory. So they took the particular longitude going from that Royal Observatory as a basic longitude. They called it as a 0 degrees longitude, or they calling it as a prime longitude. Okay. So this is a prime longitude, or these longitudes are also known as meridians. Like latitudes are known as parallels, longitudes are known as meridians. So this prime meridian. Okay. So all the meridians, okay, are of same length. Prime meridian is located at 0 degrees. Opposite of the prime meridian is located 180 degrees meridian. Okay. So from prime meridian to, as you guys know that earth is rotating from west to east. So from 0 degree to the western side up till 180 degrees, you have 180 longitudes, and eastern side up to 180 degrees, you have 180 longitudes. So total we have 360 longitudes. Getting it? Okay. So the distance between longitude does not remain the same. As you are moving upwards, so you can see in the diagram, at the equator, distance is very, very high. Okay. And at the poles, distance becomes 0. Okay. So distance is 0 at the poles. Okay. So when the distance is changing, there is no constant distance between the two longitudes. But latitudes, the distance between them is always constant. So all the longitudes, they intersect with each other on the poles. They meet with each other on the poles. They touch each other on the poles. But latitudes, they never touch each other. They are parallels. So this is a difference between latitude and longitude. Number of latitudes we have seen are 180. Number of longitudes are 360. Okay. Latitudes are full circles. Longitudes are semicircles. Latitudes, as we are moving upwards, they become shorter and shorter. But longitude, the size remains the same. Just the thing is that latitude, they never touch each other. Longitude, on the poles, they will touch each other. So they are all of equal length. Okay. So this latitude and longitude, they are marked in terms of degrees. But as you guys know, places are located in between the latitude and longitude as well. So these latitude and longitude are further divided into minutes and further divided into seconds. Okay. So this is how this is being represented. Okay. In coming NCERTs, we will see detail about this, how it is marked and how it is represented. Okay. So this is a prime meridian. You can see 0 degrees longitude passing through Greenwich, Royal Observatory of London. And opposite to that, you have 180 degrees, another meridian. Okay. So these 0 degrees longitude, it divides Earth into again two parts, Western Hemisphere and Eastern Hemisphere. Getting it? So Western and Eastern, these are the two hemispheres which have been marked because of the prime meridian or 0 degrees longitude. Okay. So I hope you guys are understanding all these things. Okay. Now let us understand how this longitude is used for keeping the time. Okay. Longitudes are used for the calculation of time. Latitudes are never used for the calculation of time. Okay. Now, you know that Earth is a sphere. Yesterday, though, we have seen is a geoid shape, but for the sake of calculation, mathematical calculation, we'll consider now it as a sphere. Okay. So Earth, if we consider as a sphere, the total circumference is 360 degrees. Okay. Since 360 degrees and we have a one day which is 24 hours. So in 24 hours, Earth rotates around itself. So these 360 degrees are being totally covered in 24 hours. Okay. So these 360 degrees are passing in front of the sun in 24 hours. Okay. So in 1 hour, how many degrees will pass? So in 1 hour, 360 degree divided by 24. So 15 degrees. Okay. So So 1 hour, in 1 hour in front of the sun, 15 degrees will pass. And to pass 1 degree, it will take 4 minutes. So right now, for example, 24 minutes lecture have been done. So in that 24 minutes, 6 degrees have been passed in front of the sun. Getting it? So this is as simple calculation as that. Okay. So when sun is at the highest point on the 0 degrees or on the prime meridian, okay, so we consider there is a 12 o'clock in the afternoon on all the places on the prime meridian. Getting it? So on the 0 degrees, there is a 12 noon when sun is at the highest point. Getting it? So as you guys know that Earth is rotating from west to east. So places in the eastern hemisphere will be ahead of the places in the western hemisphere. Okay, so sun is located over somewhere here in the eastern direction. Okay, this is a 0 degrees. Okay, so consider that there is a 12 o'clock on the 0 degrees. So what will be the time on the 15 degrees eastern longitude? So as we have seen, it takes 1 hour for the earth to pass in front of the sun from 0 to 15 degrees. So when there is a 12 o'clock in the afternoon on the 0 degrees, so what will be the time on the 15 degrees east? It will be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 30 degrees, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then 45 degrees, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. 60 degrees, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, like that. But on the western side will always be behind the eastern side. So 12 o'clock in the afternoon on the 0 degrees. So 15 degrees on the western side, the time will be 11 o'clock in the morning. 30 degrees on the western side, you have 10 o'clock in the morning. Getting it? So this is how time is calculated. Getting it? Okay. So this chapter we are going to see again and again. Many times you are going to see, and you can expect the MCQs based on this chapter in the UPSC exam. Okay. So this is how time is kept. This is how time is calculated by using the longitude. Getting it? Okay. So when time is calculated using the longitude, each and every country, to calculate its own time, maintains a standard time, or it chooses a standard meridian using which it keeps its time. So why it is done like that? Okay. So for example, there is a 12 o'clock on the prime meridian. Okay. And now we have told all the countries, calculate all the people that whatever meridian that you are situated in. For example, right now I am in Pune. Okay. For example, I am in Pune, so I am situated somewhere, let us say 60 degrees meridian. You are in the Hyderabad, so you are situated on the 65 degrees meridian. Okay. Somewhere is in the north, someone is in the northeast, so he is situated somewhere on the 90 degrees meridian. Okay. So if everyone starts keeping their clock according to their own meridian, then there will be different clocks in entire country. All the clocks will not show the same time. So there will be confusion. So that is why in one territory, at least people should follow the same time. There should not be confusion based on the time and territory. Or if it is a too huge territory like Russia, so they keep more than one standard time. So people should change their clock if they are shifting from one time zone to another time zone. Getting it? So that is why this standard time is required, that so that all the people will have a same time in their clocks. So India has chosen 82.5 degrees eastern longitude as our standard timeline. So if we see what will be the time when there is a 12 o'clock, okay, you can calculate on your paper. When there is a 12 o'clock in the afternoon on the prime meridian, okay, India is located in the eastern hemisphere. What will be the time at 82.5 eastern hemisphere longitude? What will be the time? So it is very simple. So the difference between 0 degrees and 82.5 degrees is nothing but a 82.5. Okay. So when there is a 12 o'clock over there, India is an eastern hemisphere, so India is ahead of the prime meridian. Okay. So here 1 hour, in 1 hour 15 degrees are being passed. So to for the passage of 82.5 degrees, it will take 5.5 hours. So India is ahead by 5.5 hours compared to prime meridian. So when there is a 12 o'clock in the afternoon in the London, in India, we have 5:30 in the evening because we are ahead of the London. Getting it? Okay, 5.5 hours we are ahead of the London. So this is how the standard time is calculated, and this is how the standard time is kept. Okay. So I hope you guys have understood this chapter. It's very simple. If you have any doubts or you haven't understood anything, then you can message me on the Telegram or somewhere, or you can ask me what are the things you haven't understood, or if you have any doubt. This is very important chapter from the point of your prelims. Okay, we are again going to see in this chapter again, maybe in the 8th, 9th and 11th standard as well. Okay, so based on this chapter we have certain MCQs. Okay, so if you have listened this entire lecture carefully, you will be easily able to answer this question. So the first question is the value of prime meridian. Okay, second is the frigid zone lies near which of the following three options are given. Okay, total number of longitudes are, okay, that also we have seen. The Arctic Circle is located in which hemisphere, and the definition of grid is a network of what. Okay, there are also some fill in the blanks given in the NCERTs, so you can consider them as an MCQs. You can solve them as an MCQs. Okay, so the Tropic of Cancer is located at what degrees of latitude? Standard meridian of India is, what is the standard meridian of India? The zero meridian is also known as what? Prime meridian, that we have seen. The distance between the longitude decreases towards what? We have seen that as we move from equator towards pole, the distance decreases. Okay, Arctic Circle is located in which hemisphere? Antarctic Circle is located in which hemisphere? These things we have seen. So guys, I hope you have understood this chapter. Okay, see you tomorrow to see the next chapter. Thank you.